Welcome back all to DAS TV today, this afternoon, I should say. Glorious day reporting from Dublin here in Ireland. Very clammy out of late. A bit cooler though today, but it's the way we like it, just nice and cool. Like a man that joins us today, a cool guy in Monts from the Big Six Bants. Delighted to have you on today, Monts. And obviously, this is your first appearance on DAS TV. I've been on the Big Six Bants a couple of times and on different content with Monts. So Monts, I suppose it's quite unique, the Big Six Bants, the content that is put out there. As I said, six friends, just to off air, support the six big clubs and so-called six big clubs in the Premier League. And as I said, people from Ireland have even talked about just what is the Big Six Bants and how did it all start?
Well, first of all, by the way, thanks for having me on the channel, man. It's a big thing for me, obviously. Fan of DAS TV, obviously. More collabs to come, man. So keep doing the hard work.
Yeah.
And smash the like, by the way.
Smash a like and comment as well. Yeah, Willies are in there. Comment.
But yeah, so do you want to know where it started or just
yeah, just how it started. So how you and the lads got together, what was the idea behind it, how it started in Big Six Bants? Because a lot of people have seen this, but I don't know if everybody knows the story of the journey.
Yeah. Not a lot of people do know the journey, I'll be honest. So basically, I'll say it's probably dating back to about 2019. I was, me and my friends for years, probably since, I don't know, maybe 2011, 2012, me and my friends, like we're quite a tight-knit bunch of guys. We have loads of different friends, but we are like this. Like we pretty much live in each other's pockets whenever we're together and stuff like that. Yeah. And the one thing that brings us together quite often and that causes all the arguments and stuff like that is football. And it was just almost by coincidence that, Ethan supports Tottenham, I support Liverpool, Casey supports Arsenal, Corey supports Man United. They just kind of I just thought that's so ironic that we all support different teams. And we'd argue for hours. Yeah, it's not every day. Usually it's kind of two support one and maybe three support the other. But because everyone supported different teams, it was always nice, especially when it comes to match days and Big Six games, or quote unquote Big Six games. And for years, we just argue and like it would get heated. Like, so what you guys see on camera is like a very watered down version of what actually goes on between us, which is hopefully again we can probably maybe let the get the shackles off and maybe be a bit more let's just say more rowdy in how we actually are. But it's YouTube and stuff, you can't always act as crazy as we are, but that's the beauty of it. And one day, after years and years of just arguing, shouting, screaming, going to games and stuff like that, I just said, in 2019, I just said to the boys, I was like, listen, why don't we document this? Like people, and I've only realized how much I think people would buy into it because one time a few other friends came round while a game was on, and I believe it was Chelsea-Liverpool the Super Cup game when we won on penalties. Yeah. Adrian's actually
great game. Yeah,
Adrian's best game for the club.
Yeah,
and a few other friends came over that aren't exactly part of that tight knit group, but they're still able to hang around us and stuff like that. And they sort of saw firsthand what it was like to be around us while a football match is on, while we have rivals watching the same game in the same household, and they were just like laughing their head off for the whole time. Like they were like so invested in the aura and the hatred and the banter all mixed in one. It was just kind of a lot for them to take in a really positive way. And I kind of took I'm quite observant, so I was like, okay, that's interesting. And it happened a few other times on a few other occasions where people would just be around us when football's on, and they'd want to be around us more because of that aura and that energy that we give. And I thought, we need to document this. This needs to happen. I wasn't really sure how I was going to do it. I put
some
the idea
reality
forward.
TV show or just YouTube or something. Yeah, because it was obviously good humor and get recognition.
Exactly, and of course, people might not know this, but I'm an actor, so I was at the time really busy with acting and stuff. So I wasn't sure where I was even going to find the time to do it. But it was just at the moment, it was just a seed, it was just an idea. And I brought it forward to the boys in the group chat. And they were, because, they're not used to being on screen or anything like that. I'd like to say they were on board, but they weren't like, oh my gosh, let's do this. Do you know what I mean? They weren't jumping at the opportunity. They were like, oh, that's a good idea. Do you know what I mean? And because of that, as I said, I felt a bit reliant and thought, well, I want this to be a group project. So if everyone's not 100,000%, then we'll wait, or we'll. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Which was fine by me.
You didn't want to rush into it and get it going and
Yeah,
get content out there if everyone
exactly.
was
Not
a bit
everyone wants to
apprehensive.
be. No, go on,
Yeah.
sorry. No.
Now, if everyone's obviously everyone's a bit apprehensive about it, they might be a bit nervous, excited about it all, but you need to have everybody on board 100%. So obviously you are just making sure you got that reassurance before
Yeah,
it's went and done
exactly.
it and any sort of content. And like as I said, I've come across this as well, Monts, and it's great. I've been on the show and you've been on different streams with you, so it's very unique. And what's so unique about it is, as you said, the coincidence: 6 years friends, 6 years supporting the top so-called 6 clubs in the Premier League. So obviously, there's great banter, humour, and it's very unique.
Literally, and to be fair, I do have the only regret I have again is why I didn't almost go forward. Oh, there's a question there if you wanna read that.
Yeah, Chef Gaz is one of the lads who used to live up my way. Yeah, from Ballyfermot in Dublin. Love the channel, lads. Question your greatest Liverpool team of your generation. Oh, that's a good one. I would probably say greatest Liverpool team my generation would be now. I think that the current team in the last 3 seasons, hottest ticket in town, very creative, intensity, energy. Very good defensively as well, and obviously won the major honours when you're supporting a team that wins European Cups and Premier Leagues and is competing, and obviously won our fourth World Club Cup, which a lot of people don't talk about. A very hard thing to get to because you have to win a Champions League to get there, and then when you get there, obviously you're playing some of the top sides halfway through a busy season, which we had a season where we won the Premier League. We sacrificed going out of the League Cup on a rainy, cold night in Birmingham against Villa as well to go on and win it. So I would say this current Liverpool team the last few years under Jurgen Klopp, it's phenomenal team. You probably agree with that, Monts, would you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. If it wasn't for the last few years in this Klopp era, I would have gone Brendan Rodgers 13-14. But
what a season that was, yeah.
But yeah, exactly. But I'll probably have to go 18-19. Probably now, pretty much now, if you look at the team on paper, it's phenomenal. I think when everyone's fit, we are what you would call world beaters. So yeah, brilliant question, by the way. But
yeah, very good, Gaz. And Gaz has the profile picture there of that away 96-97 Reebok jersey, which we will talk about jersey soon enough as well. And this season's replica kind of to that, the away one, the white one. Fair play to all the comments there. There's a couple of them, man, like Johnny, Ryan, LFC, a couple of the regulars. Big up to lads.
Big up the regulars, man.
Big up Lamptey. That's to you, Monts, isn't it? And Mitchell Balzan as well, afternoon. Does make it afternoon. Mitchell, he's been on it a couple of the streams of late as well. Big up Lamptey. That's on for you, Monts. A bit of banter in the.
Yeah, it's an ongoing joke, especially on the Coppish, and that's one I guess it's always making me smile, so got no problems there. But what was I gonna say? I thought I was gonna say in terms of just back to the topic. In terms of putting it forward, the boys. As I said, not everyone wants to be a content creator. As I said, I was very comfortable in front. I've always been comfortable in front of the camera. So as I said, because of my background in acting, so at the time, I was fortunate enough to be doing work at PlayStation. So I was busy and I was traveling. I was doing a lot of things. So once that started to die down, again, I brought the idea forward. But as I said, the guys weren't. It's not that they weren't interested; they were very much on board with it. It's just, as I said, not everyone's a content creator and wants to just dive straight in. It's sort of maybe just to dip the toe in and whatnot. So again, I sort of just maybe not forgot about it, but I kind of just, when you put a pin in it, it's an idea if we ever want to do it. And then obviously the next season rolled through, and it was I kind of brought the idea forward again a second time around 2020, and of course when Liverpool were just high flying, when we were high flying. And again, it was the same sort of response from the boys, like literally the same. So I took it upon myself to go, well, maybe it's the way I'm delivering the idea to the boys. Maybe it's the way I'm delivering it, because I feel like this is something, again, there was more and more hype and energy and all these moments where people kept seeing us how we were. And it was more and more of that throughout the year. And it was getting my back up more like, this needs to be documented. It needs to be documented. So again, I approached them again, and it was, I said, it's the same response. So with with that, I thought, okay, I'm gonna change my approach to this. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna maybe ask a random person, maybe someone who doesn't know me, someone who maybe is an inspiration, could be a normal person, could be someone who inspires me, could be anyone. I'm maybe gonna go to someone different and not the boys for this. And maybe I could just start it up myself. And then once it's actually on board, the boys will kind of see the vision and then they'll be on board. And then and then it could just flourish from there. So what I done was I kind of left it in the group. I didn't really come back to it in the group chat. The guys kind of almost thought I forgot about it for a while. And I kind of just went off on my own and started looking at a few videos. How do you make a YouTube channel? Like it literally started with me typing in, how do you make a YouTube channel on YouTube?
Interesting.
It was that basic. And how do you make a brand?
Straight from the get-go, from the start.
Yeah, just from the very bottom. And I was kind of struggling a little bit. I kind of hit a brick wall because I was like, all right, wait, now I need a name. All right, now I need a brand. Now I need a logo. So I kind of hit a brick wall as to like those sort of things. Even though I'm quite creative, I wasn't sure again with the technical aspects. Didn't really have much of an idea how to do it. But at the same time, I still watched a lot of podcasts. So I watched a lot of Kopish, one of my favorite channels. Big fan. Like big up Kopish. Again, James Redmond. I was watching James Redmond. I was also watching Redmond TV. I was watching a few Liverpool channels. I even watched AFTV and Expressions Oozing. I was watching quite a lot of football and even Filthy Fellas. I'm not sure you might have heard of Filthy Fellas, but Filthy Fellas was extremely popular as well. So I was watching all of these, and especially with Filthy Fellas, I watched that and thought, this is what my friends are like. My friends are like this. This is what we are like, you know. And I didn't want to emulate what Filthy Fellas do, but I felt in my honest self that the banter between my friends is on par with what Filthy Fellas are doing. So if they can do it, why can't I and my friends do it? That was the thought process behind what I thought. So I took it upon myself to. I don't know what it was. I woke up one day, I thought, you know what, forget this. I went and found Callum Sanderson. I went and found Callum's Instagram. I followed him. Not really thinking he was going to follow me back. Like, it was just one of those things. I thought, I'm going to follow Callum Sanderson and I'm going to follow the guys from Kopish. And I just DM'd Callum. I just DM'd him on a whim. Like, I just said, I sent him a message saying how much of an inspiration and I'm loving what he's doing. But I just wanted to ask him a few questions in terms of, you know, how did you get started? What did it take to sort of just get things off the ground? Because I was so desperate to get what I wanted off the ground. I just didn't know. You know when you take that first step, so the rest of the steps are easy, but that first step was really difficult for me. You know,
and you got answers in that first step, didn't you? He obviously got back to you.
Yeah, he got back to me within an hour. I literally looked at my phone and it just popped up on my phone. I was like, I remember I was on the phone to one of my friends actually. I was like, wait a minute, Callum Sanderson just replied to my DM. Hold on, I gotta go, bro. Like, I had to put the phone down, focus now, get my questions ready. We had a conversation, and it was a really, really organic conversation. We even spoke about my acting a little bit, which he found had a little interest in, which, you know, was even flattering for me. Yeah. You know what I mean? For someone like him who I've watched for a long time to take an interest in anything that I've been doing. You know what I mean? And so as I said, big up to Callum if he's watching this, if he's seen this. Like,
big up Callum, legend of the YouTube scene, and very approachable and lovely guy as well, very genuine.
Very genuine, and as I said, he was one of the people that really did. He was a core factor in what helped me, as I said, get this off the ground. In terms of just not even just do this and do that. It was more bro, just get it started. He just gave me that little push to say, bro, just get it started. It doesn't matter how good it is, how bad it is, get it started, get it off the ground. Don't think too much about it, because that was my problem. I was thinking too much about it. And we exchanged numbers at the end of the conversation. We had a few conversations on the phone, and it was really, even though the content of the conversation was important, it was the it kind of just inspired me. Just being on the phone to a creative like him, really, really inspired me to go, I'm going to make this happen, whether I have to watch 1,000 videos. If I have to watch 1,000 YouTube videos, if I have to do this and that, I'm going to make it happen. And by the end of the phone call, I'd already come up with the name Big Six Bants. Big Six Bants was now already, I was like, you know what, this is what it's going to be called. I went and got the logo, And once the logo was there and the intros, outros, and everything technical was done, I sent it back to the boys in the chat, proposed the idea, and everyone was on board. Because again, sometimes it just takes a little push. Sometimes the boys need a little push, and I'm so thankful for them for sort of trusting in me and going, do you know what, Montel, like, we're gonna do this with you. Do you know what I'm saying? We're gonna do this with you, and we're gonna, you know what I'm saying. So as I said, big up to the boys as well. Like I've got so much time and love for them for trusting me to sort of just get it off the ground.
It was all about that start, really. Just get that started, your logo, and then it was all just about the content and regularly doing updating content and getting it out there to the viewers, and obviously promoting it as well through social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. All different sites, social media sites. And once I went on that month, then it was kind of the start to something special, wasn't it? It was the start to getting views and an audience and getting big people on it. There's a man like Shawnee there, the same, big up the Liverpool YouTube community. I know Shawnee there that's been on a lot of YouTube streams and commenting through Instagram. So fair play. Like people like him, keep the support going. It keeps that engagement and that interest, doesn't it, for all of us? So big up Shawnee and fair play to me.
It is people like him, because I think even from the start, when I first made the channel, when I dropped the very first video, I remember you sending a DM to me saying for me to keep up the work. I remember specifically you sending me a message, which was always nice to just to see that, because for me at that time, you don't really get too many messages saying keep up and stuff. It's just literally you put it out there. It's your first video, so any sort of message, even now, any message to me means a lot. But you know, Shawnee was very, you know, from the start. As I said, he's one of them from the start. He's just always been. I don't know what it was, but you know, maybe we are actually quite funny. I think we are quite funny, but you know, people like Shawnee,
very humorous. Some of the sayings just have the quotes and that banter you have. It is very good, and I'd be laughing at it, and I'm sure the boy do, a lot of others do as well. So that's good. The humour, a bit like Coppish. Coppish had the same, the good humours with Drifty, Matt, and Caleb on it. It's quite unique, and you'll just listen to the lads, even if the topics aren't good. Just how they voice their opinion.
You just want to hear them, exactly. You just want to hear how their take. Even the topic could be dead, but the way they talk about it will make it entertaining and watchable. And I said, people, that's why I had to mention Shawnee one more time. Like it's people like him who are, you know, almost thought, if I ever thought maybe this isn't, maybe people don't like this, or maybe this isn't the thing to do, because you know everyone gets doubts. I don't care what anyone says. Everyone gets doubts at some point, especially very early on in what they're doing. And I have had a lot of doubtful moments at times that I don't really voice them, because, you know, I have my own way of dealing with things. But, you know, people like Shawnee who are always there, always consistently watching, consistently commenting, consistently sharing. I'm just like, well, if one person likes what I'm doing, then maybe I'm doing something right. That's the way I sort of took to it at the start. And I wasn't really focused on numbers. That's one thing Callum told me, don't be too focused about numbers, because you're not going to jump on and see 1,000 views in an hour or 1 million subscribers. You're not going to see that sort of stuff. It's unrealistic. Otherwise, you know, maybe I should start spreading that secret sauce and start selling it for thousands in cash, because do you know what I mean? But
exactly. And it's all about just the views and opinions. None of us are experts. None of us have the experience of any expertise, but we do have views, opinions, and a lot of what we say in the fan channels, a lot of it is very true. Like I've watched you sometimes, like I was saying to Keith around the LFC Day Trippers, and there'll be a point made that say, I never thought of that. That's really a good point, that makes me think of something different. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's about. At the end of the day, we've no control of what happens at the clubs, and we can only voice our opinions and have our views. So we do our best at that, and we do try and keep regular updates on what we think with someone. But it's good having an opinion, but we all are flexible. Like there's times where I've criticised the player and come out and says, no, I was wrong there. And that's what's great about it. We're not very narrow-minded. We're open-minded and realistic all the time. And I've seen that with yourself, Monts, on the Big Six Bants.
100%. I think a little, like, maybe a little side note. We when I first made the channel, I was thinking about making a Liverpool channel originally. But as I said, it was almost impossible to avoid the fact that everyone supports a different team. Do you know what I mean? It was almost impossible to do that. So, like now, even like, you know, like through the first few videos, like, you know, there was so many technical difficulties to begin with. It actually took ages just to get the first video out. I went to London. I went to a public library to sort the channel out because I was in London at the time, so I couldn't really go back to where I am now. And
Yeah.
I was like, the video wasn't working. There were so many. I was stressing. As I said, I even had to go to the public library during like heavy COVID to sort
Yeah.
of, it was just these little things that like, I'm making this happen. It's going to happen.
Mm.
And we got the video out. And yeah, like I just remember, having like 20 subscribers in like the first day, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool, and when we got the video out, as I said, I tried to get feedback from as many people as I can. I got so many good messages, but I was like, people, tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me what's wrong, so I can just, people say my voice is too quiet. So then I realized, all right, earphones. Everyone needs earphones. All right, everyone needs stable connection. Sometimes don't use it. Like just all these little technical stuff. And as I said, video by video, it used to take me like hours just to edit our videos. Not hours, but I was really like, I had to watch so many videos to learn to edit and stuff like that. Now I can edit a video in like 10 minutes, if that. Probably don't even take me 10 minutes.
Brilliant.
Like the amount of skills I've learned myself just by determination of getting the channel on its feet is what's been good as well. So that to me is progress in itself. And then, as you said, like probably about even like probably like 100 subscribers in, you start getting the attention of people who you've been inspired by for large parts of your life, such as the James Redmonds and the Coppishes and people like that. Like I never, like if you told me in 2019 when I first thought, okay, I want to make a channel with football banter and stuff like that. If you told me you're going to be making content with someone like James Redmond, or you're going to be on the football terrace, or you're going to be on a Coppish video, I would have said, "God, you crazy? You talking about? You crazy?
Yeah. That's not
okay,
happening. Yeah.
What you talking about? Like, I would have just rubbished it off. Not rubbished it off. I would have been like, you're just talking, you're chatting, man. But the fact that someone like James had seen our content was like bizarre to me. That was so bizarre to me because I never really went into it thinking, who can I collab with that's really big? That was never ever like, I just wanted to do our thing and let it, as I said, YouTube's a consistent algorithm. It's not about how quickly it is. It will generally go up. Views and videos go up because the more views, the more videos, the more subscribers. That will happen. It's just that some people are more steady, some people are more steep. It's a consistent algorithm. It's just about patience. So that's the attitude I went. That was my attitude.
And being realistic is key. You're right. And with that attitude, you went and you grew bigger and bigger. And I seen a while ago there, you had subs. You got over 300 subs. So I don't know what it's at now, but you were
it's 389 now. So we're nearly at 400. So
so 5 is the next, and it's setting them the milestones. Get to 5, then 1,000. And look, it will happen. It's just being patient. And as you said, with it being the off season, you haven't done much content of late, and I'm sure you will do some soon now. But that's understandable because it has been a long season. We've all been indoors. We've all been on collabs and doing content. So you do need a break from it as well sometimes. Because as you said, going to Liverpory, that one was heavy COVID. A lot goes on behind the scenes in this that people don't see. It's not just putting out a video and chatting. Sometimes that there is a lot more to it, particularly at the start. But you have good experience now and good knowledge, Monts. So from me and I suppose everybody else tuning in, it's keep going, and sky's the limit, really, and it will get bigger and better, absolutely. And it's very unique. The 6 lads, 6 different clubs, good humour. It's only going to grow, you know what I mean?
100%, man. I can only just be thankful, as I said, to Callum, the likes of James, and not just those two. It's also like the likes of yourself, who dropped me my first actual DM and first DM in on the account. Being part of the Football Terrace group chat, getting to meet all those guys was even more inspiring. I can't really go through the names because I will be here, but like they know who they are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. The lads have been great help and support and helping with logos and stuff, and
absolutely brilliant. And even like when I was like begging you, when I wanted you and Conrad to make your own channel so badly, because your opinions were so valid, I was like, these guys need a channel, man. Like, it just needs to happen. So like, it's to know that even this is happening right now. It's the way it all comes together. It's just a really good community that we've got going on here.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and we'll keep it going strong, and we'll keep going and getting the subscribers and views. So Monts, that's a good insight, fascinating enough. I know it's brief into the big six Bants, but you could talk about it all
Yeah,
day, and we go on.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's great, and obviously wishes the best of luck, and everybody go over and like and subscribe to Big Six Bants, and Monts will be back, as you're saying, off air, doing videos very soon on it, and the summer's going to be a good one, obviously, with transfers and etc. Last week, I should say, Jordan Henderson, 10 years at Liverpool. Obviously,
Yeah.
then news broke, I think, Friday evening that he got the NBA award. He's just developed unbelievable, hasn't he, and grown at Liverpool in stature as a person on the field and off the field. What's your views and opinions, Months, on Jordan Henderson and the current player, what he means now to Liverpool? But even from the start, I mean, he comes in, we all know the background story. He's nearly sold to Fulham. We bring in Clint Dempsey. Would have been horrendous for that to happen. But at the time, not many people would have raised an eyebrow at that because Henderson did struggle. He didn't hit the ground running, but he was in a Liverpool team under Kenny Dalglish at the time that only won a League Cup, but league form was pretty poor. There was a season where we didn't play in Europe, so it just wasn't to be. It was a bad time probably for anybody to come in because we didn't really make good signings there. No one really made a big impression with Gerrard at the club, who was unbelievable. And then obviously we know the story. Jordan goes on to replace Stevie as a captain. And Keith was on this LFC Day Trippers, and his views and opinions. He wasn't, wanting anybody else to change theirs. Thinks that Jordan is a better leader and captain than what Gerrard was. Not a better player, but a better leader and captain, because obviously it takes certain people to be a leader. And one of the points, I suppose, was that Gerrard always had the back and always had the support. Everybody loved him. But with Jordan, it wasn't always that way. And when the tough got going, into weather the storm, and it was backs against the wall, it was full on. He came under a lot of criticism, even at the start when he was captain. So he viewed you with pressure. So for him to turn around where he was then to now, you can't. There is a big argument to say who was the better captain, but obviously Gerrard consistently proven it, carried Liverpool teams for years. But Jordan, no doubt about it, now is a part of a better Liverpool team, all rounded, better and more structure there, and a better manager, of course. Anyone that plays in the club will know that. But every manager and player that's played with Hendo all speak highly of him, so there's no coincidence there to how good he is. But what's your views and take on Jordan Henderson, Months?
For me, it's a beautiful story, man. It's a really, really beautiful story, and it's kind of unfolded all the way in no more than a perfect way. I feel like I was one of Henderson's critics. I have to be honest with people. I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, I was with him all along. I was one of those guys. Yeah. No, I wasn't. I was one of the ones saying Henderson is meaty. Why is he even starting today? I even said at one point, get him out of my club. I'm pretty sure those words have, after a bad Henderson performance, I'm pretty sure get him out of my club has come out my mouth before. Do you know what I mean? And and the thing is with that though, I think I probably didn't mean it. I know I didn't mean it. It's more of a reactionary thing. Obviously, you always hate when you lose a game, especially in a really bad fashion. Look at like people like Arsenal fans. I'm always hearing them say, "Get X, Y, and Z out my club." But I feel that's because they're in a space where their club is similar to what we were in the early 2010, 2020, last decade. In that early stage of that decade, we were in a similar place to what Arsenal was in. So I understand that when you say get X, Y, and Z out my club. So it was a beautiful story because with Henderson, as I said, it wasn't an ideal signing. It was really hard to come in at the time. And he was just very steady. And as a club, we're not used to steady. We're used to quality. Do you know what I mean? We weren't really here for someone being just, oh, he's okay. He's good on his day. But his day doesn't come around all that often, but he's good on his day. We weren't really, as I said, as a fan base, we've been spoiled for some midfielders. You know what I mean? We've been quite spoiled. And especially to go and take the mantle of someone like Stevie, like, I don't think a lot of players would have crumbled under that pressure. Probably wouldn't have lasted a couple of years. I'll be honest. A lot of players wouldn't. So, and that's just a testament to his mentality. Do you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure even when Milner come in, people were saying to just give Milner the captain. Just give it to Milner. You know what I mean?
There was a lot of that. And Van Dijk and...
Yeah, like just take it off him because let's be real. Like, of course, Henderson's grown into a brilliant player and a brilliant captain, but I'd say more so after the first year of the Klopp era. Do you know what I mean? Because he has had his injury problems as well, So because as a player he was so far behind someone like Gerrard, that's no disrespect by the way to be far behind Gerrard, because I think Gerrard is far ahead of a lot of, if not majority of footballers to ever play the game, by the way. So, there was no shame in that. But in terms of leadership qualities, I understand what your mate was saying in terms of Henderson being a better leader than Gerrard. But just because you get the whole with Gerrard and stuff, and he's very like when he even does his interviews, he seems really like an introvert. Stevie does. You can tell on the pitch and even in the change rooms, Gerrard was very vocal and he's a very different man to a lot of what we saw in the cameras. I think again, there's a lot more cameras and a lot more coverage these days, and we see a lot more. So I feel like that's why people might have that narrative that Henderson is a better captain than Gerrard. Well, some people might have that opinion. It is an argument to be had, but I feel like remember you can see more, and you couldn't see as much in those times. Nowadays, I do agree with what Shawnee's saying. Henderson does turn doubters to believers, but
I can't
say yet. Yeah, I can't say yet who was the better captain, but I'm just here to witness the beautiful story of Jordan Henderson. And I feel like as a player, he's played at a world-class standard for 3 years now. And I genuinely believe that to even this season, playing positions like centre-back, drifting out to the right and the left, coming and playing CDM, the man is an 8. He's a box-to-box midfielder. How many midfielders do you know that can be that good of an all-round footballer to just slot in and still put in a good performance at a high level, at the highest level of my generation seeing Liverpool, and yours, Daz, as well, as you said.
Yeah,
how many people can do that? Not a lot. Do you know what I mean?
No.
I reckon if you even asked Gerrard to play centre back, you might even have question marks. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in terms of versatility and discipline is a very big word for the word discipline with Henderson, because even though this is men's football and you have a lot of discipline throughout all the teams in the Premier League, Henderson, I think, represents discipline and, never giving up and keeping just to keep on going. And he takes so much responsibility of the team in the harder moments. And you can tell that everyone in that team looks to him. Everyone in that team looks to him. Everyone trusts Jordan. And that is a massive thing in player trust.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Monts. And look, there's a couple of points. That was good what Shawnee said there, doubters to believers. This is football. Remember, go over there and like and subscribe to Dom there. Daz, hope you're great and good, pal. Yeah. Ali A, for me, Hendo lifted our first Premier League title. So for me, is a better captain than Gerrard. Not better player, but captain. Yeah, there is an argument as well there. Ravi says, big up lads, do you see Liverpool doing next season? We will get on to that, Ravi. And then this is football. Dom's back there. Henderson is not better at Gerrard at anything. Leadership ability, nothing. Gerrard could play 10 positions on the pitch. What's this, Watford? Now, I think, look, to be honest with you, Dom, they were just talking about 10 years, obviously, about Henderson last week, 10 years Liverpool won an MBE. But what I do think is look, I don't want to get into a debate who was better, because I think they're both fantastic. They were both playing in different styles, different teams.
Different eras,
like Jurgen Klopp, Gerrard would have thrived as well, would have been unbelievable. And we do sometimes forget for 10 years Gerrard carried us. He was an absolute exceptional world-class player.
He was the only light,
He was the only light, yeah. And then when we lost him, we ran out that light. We didn't see much, but then in came Jurgen Klopp, and now all these players, like Jordan, has developed massively, and he's just getting better and better. But he has that confidence, he has that momentum, and he's had a setbacks as well, which he's come back from. And it's just a fantastic, an unbelievable football story. I think the Jordan Henderson one from start to finish, and I think he's easily probably 3-4 years, because he's a very fit fella, technically good as well, left of playing the top level. And if he wins more honours, then I think there will be more debate around him and Gerrard. But I don't think that narrative is fair. I think Henderson has been unbelievable. He's done everything that's asked. Gerrard as well. I mean, won European Cups for us like Hendo as well. So it's just, I suppose, praising him and see what Monts' views and opinions are on Hendo, which has been 10 weeks. So yeah, it's a good insight, Monts, about it. Another one there, I respect Henderson 100%. He's been absolutely fantastic serving the club. Gerrard is the Michael Jordan of our club. He's number one. However, big up Hendo. Yeah, I think that's a good way of looking at it. I think so. And I think, as I said, in another 3 or 4 years' time, we can even talk more about Henderson after more honours, hopefully more league titles and European Cups. He can add to that. Another one come in there, Monts. I think it might have been from Ravi. Just kind of big up lads. How do you see Liverpool doing next season? Probably early days, isn't it, Monts, to
Yeah, I'd say
to talk
maybe
about that.
we'll see if we get a Wijnaldum replacement in, or if we bring through Curtis Jones a bit more. If we do actually go and bring in a striker, I feel like that will change my viewings of how we're gonna do. But with the current squad, if everyone fit, I still think we're top two.
Yeah,
People,
yeah,
you
I agree.
say what you like, say what you like about last season, but you go and get Joe Gomez, and even 3/4 of a Van Dijk is still better than any centre back that anyone's got in the league. As I said,
Yeah,
and
yeah, absolutely.
that's not even real delusion. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's very reactionary in football. Football is the most reactionary sport, I believe. So it's obvious people are going to say stuff like Ruben Diaz is better than Van Dijk, or
Yeah.
Liverpool are done for. As I said, that's just It's just reactionary stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And I feel like, as I said, with the right fitness and hoping that we don't have as much injury woes as last season. We see all the see people like Thiago actually manage to flourish with a full squad he's never actually played with yet on the pitch. But
Unbelievable.
yeah, that will not everyone agrees and says Liverpool are done for. There's a lot of rival fans that go, listen, Liverpool will be back, and yeah, that's I think we'll be back. Maybe hopefully challenging for the title, maybe challenging. I think Klopp might go for a different approach and maybe go for a few domestic cups this time. Hopefully.
Yeah, could possibly be. Yeah, and I think the end of last season, those last 5 games have given me huge optimism going forward. The fact that we have finished less points behind City this season than they did last season, they were only missing the park, gives me a lot of reassurances, because that was a season like no other. It was such a bad season in many ways, and for us to win those last 5, keep clean sheets, and be very composed and compact, and get goals. Hopefully, we can continue off where we left off. There will be a couple of signings in. We know there'll be a couple out, but it's
Yeah.
pre-season starts again in July, 12th of July, I believe. I heard, which is a month away.
Yeah.
So I'm confident of next season. I think every Liverpool fan will be, and I can't wait for the challenge ahead.
Yeah.
The 3 kits this season, Monts. So we know one is out, the home one. The away one is being leaked. The third one has been also leaked. A couple of
I
weeks
haven't
ago was
seen the
leaked.
third one, but I
Yeah,
haven't
it's a little bit
seen
of a
it.
downgrade. The yellow one with the red dots in the collar and sleeves. It's a little bit of a downgrade to the first one that was leaked, but I suppose if we haven't seen the third one, then it's probably not much opinion on it. But what do you think of the first two? The home one we'll start with. I think they obviously wore it on the last game of the season against Palace and got
Yeah.
wrapped up third place in top 4. What do you make of the third one or the first one? It's different, isn't it, to previous seasons?
The first one is again, I realize when you see pictures of kits, it's always really I never really try and say something straight away because it always looks different
Yeah.
when you actually see it in person or someone actually wears it. Like I remember the 2017-2018 kit. I was like, this kit is dead. I thought this kit is dead. What is going on? And but when I saw like Coutinho and these men like wearing the kit, I was like, wait, no, this kit is nice. Like it fits good. Like, you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
think
it does. Yeah.
One of New Balance's better kits for us when we were still with them. Do you know what I mean? So I think, as I said, I don't want like when I saw this new kit on them, I was like, do you know what? Like I like it more seeing it fitted. Like this is I would have preferred the collars and so hold on. So I had to just rebuild the kit. So the
Yeah.
collars here and the like these parts here. I would have
Yeah,
preferred
on the
these bits
sleeve.
to be white. I would have preferred that to be white rather than red or like a different type of red because I feel
Kind
like
of
that would have been
orange,
more.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Red.
like an
Yeah.
orangey neon sort of thing. I would have just make it white. Make it white.
Mm.
We've always done the red and white.
Mm.
Just keep it white. Do you know what I mean? But that's just me nitpicking, really. I still think the kit's quite nice. I'm probably gonna end up buying it. I probably will buy it, to be honest. I haven't actually seen the third kit, and is the second kit the
The
white?
second one is a white one. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's similar to the one that Gaz had up there in the comments from the 96-97. Has a collar
right.
on it.
Yeah,
Looks very nice now in pictures. Look, I think the thing with jerseys is like Barcelona, Real Madrid always had strange, weird jerseys, but they were a big seller and people wore them. And you've seen kids going around with the illumination, different stuff, and they were big sellers. I think with jerseys, because there's so many of them, it's hard to always get everybody jumping on board to say it's great. Like I remember a couple of seasons ago, we'd lovely with the black one with the collar, the New Balance. It was lovely, and a couple of people even said it wasn't. So I think it's very hard for everybody to agree with it. But I think the most important thing is how the team does and have the best memories and that. And it always changes your opinion on the memories or the big away wins for the away jerseys or the big European away wins. Do you know what I mean? So I think Big shout out there to Klopp Talk TV.
Yeah, big
Everybody
him
go
up,
over and
man.
like and subscribe.
Congratulations. He hit 1,000 subscribers not too long ago.
Oh,
Congrats
brilliant.
to him,
Very
man.
good. I didn't
Congrats to
know
him.
that. So I'll wish him the best of luck with that. Klopp Talk TV. Yes, red and white hits different. Yeah, absolutely what Monts was saying. And the thing is, I do wear this every year. I'm not a fan of the kit. And then it grows on me because the players wear it week in, week out. Yeah, absolutely, Monts. You'd agree there, wouldn't you? It's
Yeah,
changes your mind a lot.
he changes your mind, man. As I said, I think the picture doesn't always tell the full story. Do you know what I mean? Even when the players model it and they put it doesn't always tell the full story until you see the boys playing in it. Especially that, I'm a big fan of the Under Armour. When I play football, I've always got the Under Armour on. So like when you mix it with the Under Armour, it hits different. You know what I'm saying? It hits different. So yeah, I agree.
Absolutely, yeah. So look, I think the jerseys, as we said, memories are the most important thing. A lot of the tracksuits they bring out, training tops as well, do be really nice. So, but it's going to be hard to get everybody's views on the jerseys. It has to be some sort of creativity because remember these are going global, they're going worldwide. You know what I mean as well. And I suppose having Nike, it's more available. So Ali, guys, what would you take next season? The Champions League or the Premier League? Well, if you could only pick one.
Prem.
What would you go for a month?
Prem.
Go back for the Prem. Yeah.
Prem. Just get me more Prems. Got too many Champions Leagues. Check my closet, it's just full of them. Just give me Prems.
We stick to them now. Shawnee, man like Shawnee, I'm old school. I wish we wouldn't change the kit every year. Money doesn't fall off trees. That's true. It's very expensive. I remember only a couple of seasons ago, it was every 2 years we changed the kit. I think it should go back to that, but change the away and third kit every season.
Absolutely. Was it every 2 years?
Used to be every 2 years back. I can't remember the exact date. Someone in the comments might remind me there. There might have been
early 2000s, I'm guessing.
Even after that, there was some seasons where they kept it for 2 and then wouldn't. But I wouldn't mind going back to that, because you do only get used to wearing the kit. You're on it, and then you're already playing on social media. There's one league. Yeah.
That's my age kicking in there.
Yeah. Final. I suppose save the best to last. Final question. Your number one transfer you'd want Liverpool to sign this summer. You would be Yuri. All right, straight off.
Not even. I'm not even. Like,
and why would it be Tielemans? What's the rationale behind that? They look fantastic player, very experienced.
Why wouldn't? First of all, why wouldn't it be Yuri Tielemans? Why wouldn't it? First of all, he's just been running the show since he's come in. He's been running the show.
Yeah.
Even was it Monaco he come from? Even there, like he. For me, I play a lot of FIFA and I watch a lot of football. And even when I was watching a lot of football, I'd see his name popping about, but I wouldn't really take the time to watch his game when he was in his earlier days at Monaco. But then I'd see, obviously, when the times when Origi was breaking into the Belgium squad at a really young age, Tielemans was also breaking into the squad at a really young age. And I'd always think, who's this Tielemans guy? Why is he always in the squad? And why is he starting? First of all, guy was always starting alongside. Do you know what I mean? Like he would start, and this was like 4 years ago. Like he's been starting for Belgium, and he's still really
20.
Young.
Yeah, it's a young age of 20 starts.
So I never really knew. I heard his name, as I said, on FIFA. I'd always see his name on FIFA. I'm thinking, this guy must be good for people to... I'm just always seeing his name. And then when he got the move to Leicester, I actually was able to now watch him week in, week out sort of thing. And I was just like, this guy's serious, man. This guy is serious. Like, he actually has it. And the thing is, he's one of those players for me where he doesn't showcase his talent every time he gets on the ball. Those are the players you need. The players that don't always showcase. They don't need to showcase your talent. You don't need to play a worldie of a pass. You don't need to... beat a player. You don't need to score a long shot. We know that Yuri Tielemans can finish. We know that he can take a long shot. We know that he can hit. He has a brilliant passing range. People won't say he's got a top tier passing range because he doesn't express his passing range all the time because he doesn't need to. Those are the players that you need to look at for me. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, you've got your Thiagos who's constantly spraying passes. You've got, I always used to look at Frank Ribery and go, this guy doesn't always run at his man. And in fact, he's always keeps it ticking. But one thing I learned about someone like Frank Ribery is I used to wonder why everyone rated him so highly. And it was because he was a bit different from your conventional winger, because even though he pretty much had the beating of 9.5 out of 10 defenders, he wouldn't always go and beat the defender. He'd change up what he does. He'd almost... I know this is weird, me talking about Frank Ribery for some reason, but just
hear
me out, innit? Like, he didn't. I used to, because again, I was really young during his best era. I was really, really young, and I always used to think this guy's nowhere near as good as people say he is. Why is Frank Ribery one of the best wingers in the world? I don't see it. All I see him do is keep the ball and keep it ticking. Da 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 da. And as a kid, you don't really understand that keeping it ticking, keeping the ball, the importance of these skills, and being just a good footballer rather than being a good wing, a good winger. You know what I'm saying? Being a good footballer and a good winger, two different things.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Yeah.
and he was just someone that, you know, would only showcase the talent when he needed to, or he would turn it up and it would just switch it on. Pretty much a lot like what a lot of the Man City players do. Just keep knocking it around. Don't showcase your talent. Keep knocking it around. And then you flip the switch and then you showcase your talent. And I feel like Tielemans is someone that's adopted that from the age of 19, 20, where just very intelligent, keeps the ball moving, does what he needs to do at the right times. And then if he really wants to, he'll go out his way, he'll venture forward, he'll go get a goal. Some of the finishes this season, unbelievable. I even said it on the football terrace a while ago. Like I said this during the bad, when we were losing game after game, probably around February. I said, I want you, like when Callum was saying bring in Neto and everyone was saying the names, I said bring in Tielemans. Bring him in. I actually want this guy. But I said it in a way because it's unrealistic. I said it because it's unrealistic. But now there's actually links there, and I'm like, could this actually happen? Could it actually happen? Yeah, that's my guy, man.
Yeah, look, I think Tielemans, 24 years of age, only turned 24, 2 years Premier League experience, which is priceless. Almost, I think it's 40, 50 caps already for Belgium at a young age, gets goals, brilliant defensively, would flourish under Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool. We'd
Brilliant
probably get him,
attitude as well,
have to pay about 50 odd, 60 million pounds for him, but
give him the
it'd be
money.
money well
Give him the
spent.
money.
And I
Give them
did
the
say
money.
myself a while ago when asked about, there's a couple of people saying Sanchez replacement, if you were saying Pellegrini off Roma, look, all really good players as well. But I was saying Tielemans come in for Gini. I think it's going
because
to
it makes
be
sense. Because Gini's
potential
gone, it
world
makes
class.
sense now.
Yeah.
Maybe if Gini stayed, you'd go on, don't really need him. But like now that Gini's not there, it makes sense. The move actually makes sense. I don't see the likes of Ox and Keita staying for the next 3 years. I see. No. So Curtis Jones. So you don't even have to worry about maybe Curtis Jones being like, oh, that bringing in Yeri Tielemans is going to affect Curtis Jones. It won't in the long run because we're going to be letting go of midfielders come the next 2-3 years anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. There's a couple of lads saying there, Allier, Kylian Mbappe. What do you think? Do you think that will... It's a good point, actually, if we got Mbappe rattle all right with fans. Yeah.
I'm hearing the Mbappe talk, but I've kind of gone off that. It's gone a bit stale for me because I don't want to lose Mane and Salah yet. I think we can get another year out of one of them. And then we can start thinking about...
I think so. Yeah, I get though the point. I think Mbappe globally, huge sign and bringing in a World Cup winner, someone so young.
And it's a brand.
I know he's talked about the next Henry and that. We won't really know until he gets to the Premier League. But what a player, and he's definitely one of the best out there in world football at the moment. So to get him in would be unbelievable. Will it happen? I'm not so sure. Allier as well. Now that a Champions League club comes in for Tielemans, you can get him for cheap because he's a no clause in his contract. I wasn't sure of. Thanks for that, Allier, but certainly Tielemans would be a big one. I'd obviously be on the Mbappe camp as well. I think it'd be an unbelievable sign to go and get. I know Shawnee's saying there, we'd all love Mbappe, but it is unrealistic. And yeah, it would be, but I do think even with the money now and the wages, we would get all that back globally, short sales, what it would do, and revenue and the boost it would get. And but the only thing is, I suppose it is a gamble. He's not a Premier League player. He's playing in a league that isn't as competitive or as much competition as the Premier League. So it would be a big move from him. But Tielemans would be a safer option and obviously cheaper.
100%. I'm not with the Mbappe thing as well. I'm not really too like 100% he'll do bits. I'm not even he will do bits. That's not really a question. I'm not really trying to hear this whole French league business because enough French league teams have smacked up English teams time and time again.
Yeah, so I'm not even Monaco
trying to, not even trying to. Do you know what I mean? Like I understand the league is seen as not as competitive, but as I said, that league has proven on many occasions. But that's not the point with Mbappe. I still feel like we can squeeze out some more juice from Mane. I'm not here for Salah sales. He's not. I'm talking from chairman. I'm not. There's no sale for Salah. I'm sorry. It's impossible. I'd rather even them both stay at Liverpool for the rest of their careers and sort of just come in, game out, play a little bit less, maybe play a little bit more inverted, like what Ribery and Robin did. Sort of just play out their career. for years
Is
and
there
years
an
to come.
argument that Salah could go in and be changed even into a number 9? We've seen him get goals there with the goals he gets. Could he actually even get more goals from being a
I think he
number
needs a
9?
strike partner for that, though. In
Yeah, I
my
think
opinion, my
so.
humble opinion, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard a couple of things, but the only thing about him going as a number 9 for me would be he misses easy chances and scores the most impossible. And I think to be a number 9, you kind of have that
Yeah,
ruthlessness in you and be very cutthroat and get the goals and half chances. And Salah doesn't do that. But look,
yeah.
no doubt about it. Assists speak for
Yeah.
itself. Performances and goals is unbelievable. 125, 6
He's
goals.
irreplaceable. There's no one. Sorry,
Yeah.
he's irreplaceable. There's no one who will come in and put in the numbers. Not even Mbappe. This is why
No, I
it's
don't
this,
think so.
not
Yeah,
even
I think
Mbappe.
Salah
Mbappe
is.
won't come in and score 30 goals for 4 seasons running. Impossible. No one will come in. No one is coming in apart from Lionel Messi is coming to
Yeah.
Liverpool and scoring 30 goals in all comps for 4 seasons in a row, getting 2 golden boots and challenging for another 2 golden boots. In the other 2 seasons, he didn't even get it. Like, there's no one that's going to do that. And even what Mane's brought to the team physically, the fear that he strikes in the defenders without even stepping onto the pitch, that is something that we need to be. It's with Liverpool fans, you've got to really be careful what you wish for. I know everyone wants the shiny new toy, but sometimes what you got to give up to get that shiny new toy, you might get bored of it a lot quicker than you think. And
Yeah.
as I said, I'm all for Mbappe. It's more of a I want Mbappe so my rivals don't get Mbappe. That's
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
and for
It's
me,
not. Yeah. Yeah.
that shouldn't attract me to a player because I don't want my rivals to get him. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the
Um,
expense of one of my wingers.
do
Not
you
for me.
think, right? So we're talking about obviously Tielemans is in the question, Mbappe and stuff, but we know Jurgen Klopp, we know FSG, we know Michael Edwards. Sometimes we go out and get a player that we don't really know that much, but we'd say, all right, well, yeah, he could fit the bill. Is there a possibility that will happen this summer where we will get players that we mightn't all want, but next season then they just evolve, they go on to be potentially world class and kick on again? Because that's something I'm sure that is going to be one or two of them signings. You know, you hear the Pats and Daka and players like this being linked. I think
Yeah,
I think Origi goes, Pats and Daka might come in. He would be cheap enough, very experienced, very strong, physical, good goal scorer, but it isn't the Austrian league. But I think that would be, even at a young age, an upgrade from Origi. So I'd have no problem
yeah.
with him coming in
They
and
didn't say that
keeping the
about
front
Haaland.
three.
Don't worry about that. They didn't say that about
Yeah,
Haaland.
yeah,
So don't worry about all that. Yeah.
yeah. So I think there will be probably a bit of shrewd business in this transfer window. I think we're known for that and bringing on and developing players. But I think the most important thing is we hit the ground running next season and we have a season like no other, I think, regardless of who we sign, because the whole transfer thing, it's silly season, isn't it? We're linked with everybody and then everybody's linked with going as well. So it's hard to feed into it too much. Do you
Yeah.
guys think we'd be more flexible with the formation next season? Possibly, man, like Shawnee, yeah, possibly we could be. I think we'll have to be. I think it's the heavy metal rock and roll football, the intensity. We might be a bit more tactically box clever next season more and getting tactics to suit that. I think we've learned a lot this season from injuries and stuff and the intensity of it. And then obviously you've the Euros, you've some of the South American teams playing this summer, so it's going to be. And then World Cup next season, so it's non-stop football, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
important to have a
literally.
big squad and change
Yeah.
tactically.
And obviously we've got Africa Cup of Nations,
Yeah,
AFCON as well. So
well,
obviously Salah and Mane will be off
takes
for AFCON. So
takes a lot out of us. Yeah, Premier League fixtures released on Wednesday. Shawnee saying, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Hard to say what's the best fixture list, isn't it? Monts I seen a couple of seasons ago, we looked like on paper with a really hard fixture list. We were hard done by, and we won it then by 19
well, then beat
points ahead of
Arsenal and
City.
Chelsea open in 3 weeks,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it?
So it's I don't know. You just don't want all the top teams all at once, I suppose, and the big away games. I always find if you can have a lot of home games against the top teams in the second calendar year, January on, it might be some advantage when you're getting
Yeah.
strong. Get some of the dodgy ones out of the way with earlier than expected.
There's 2 ways you can look at it, innit? Like obviously you can
Yeah.
look at it as to say, oh yeah, let's get all the top teams out of the way and
Mm-hmm.
blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, you're gonna play everyone anyway. You are playing everyone twice regardless. So but I'm more of a I used to like, as I said, I used to be on that role. I used to be on that train, sort of just get all the hard teams out of the way. All the hard teams out of the way. Da, da, da. But now that obviously we're a much better team now, and it's the best team I've seen, I much kind of like it to keep it a mixture. So I'd like to play a Burnley and a Southampton, and then an Arsenal, and then maybe and then like a Leicester, and then I'd like to play maybe two maybe average mid-table teams, and then go for a top tier team, and then an average team, then a top tier team. Because if you get all the good teams out the way first, I feel like Football players are human. These guys are human beings. I'm a footballer myself. I'm sure that you played some football in your time.
Yeah,
Literally,
a
like,
lot.
if you have a run of teams that you know are just mediocre, it's not going to bring the best out of you. Do you know what I
Mm,
mean? So it's
yeah,
sometimes always good every 3 weeks or so to have that top six team that you're going to play to keep you on your toes. Because if you're playing seven meaty teams, you're now going into the Champions League. You're going into your Champions League fixtures kind of like you're not on a high. You're playing, but you're kind of going along with emotions. I'm not
it's not
saying
as
we have
much
that.
momentum.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not saying we have that mentality because we're very much a strong mentality club. But as I said, we are human, and sometimes when you come off of beating an Arsenal, you come off of beating a Chelsea, like you can take that into the Champions League and go, all right, we've just beat a top tier team. Bring on any top tier team in Europe, rather
mm,
than playing five mediocre teams and then going
yeah,
on
yeah.
to play a Barcelona suddenly. And it's like almost like, wow, the difference is colossal
There's a
almost.
big levels ahead. Yeah,
Yeah, and
exactly.
now
Yeah.
it's taken us 20 minutes in the game to almost wake up because we've been
Mm.
playing at a different tempo for the last 5 games.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. No, I agree. A mixture of both, where you've your Spurs this week, and then no disrespect to any of the smaller clubs, you have Crystal Palace
not at all,
then, or
yeah.
newly promoted Norwich, and then you've United and City. So yeah, you have kind of a mixture because a lot of the Premier League is very competitive, and a lot of them, let's say the smaller clubs as we call them, can be very competitive with nothing to lose
Yeah.
and very physical as well.
All
So
have
um,
very good group of players in each team. Always like a,
quality.
yeah.
Yeah, they're always evolving, improving. Monts, thanks for today. Really great to get you on, buddy. Huge respect to you and keep up the great work over at Big Six Bants and to all the other
Appreciate
lads,
that,
the other
man.
five lads as well. Shout out to them. And remember, everybody to go over, like and subscribe to the Big Six Bants. They're doing some
Yeah,
great
man.
stuff there. As I said, it's very unique. And they're doing great stuff, and you won't get a better channel for humor and a bit of banter amongst the top six. I see a lot of the clips you put up of the lads. They'll say something and then you'll play it back, particularly after United lost to Villarreal. So it's good, you know what I mean? This stuff is priceless and it's all in good humour. As I said, the lads are all great mates. So go over
Yeah,
and just
100%, man. Thank you for having me on the channel, man, as well. I want to see obviously a lot more
yeah,
content from yourself. I can't wait for the what's more to come, really. And again, thanks for showing just that appreciation and that into my channel what I'm doing, because it's not easy, and it's, as you know yourself, it's not easy, and it's always nice to get support from people like you, especially with valid opinions. It's really valid opinions.
yeah, thanks, Monts, and likewise as well, buddy. Really appreciate all the help and support, and everybody as well in the comments today, and that's liking as
Yeah,
well. Keep all the good work on. Keep tuning in. There will be more videos coming. Obviously, we're off season now. It's the internationals. Ireland are not in it. I'm disappointed to say, but I know. Look, it's hopefully a good tournament. So far it's been a great tournament, and
I'm
hard to call, I suppose. Who do you think will win it, Monts? Before we
I'm
go,
gonna go. I'm gonna go. Before KDB's injury, I was gonna go Belgium. Before
yeah.
KDB's injury, and because obviously Hazard's now coming back to fitness, and he even looks quite bright when he come on. Actually, he looks quite pretty bright. But I don't really want to be safe and just go with France. I think Portugal looks strong. I'm gonna go Portugal, man.
Yeah, I said
I'm
Portugal
gonna go
too. I said
Portugal.
I
Yeah,
said France or Portugal, so I think Portugal and Jota top goal scorer. I
yeah.
could be
Also,
proven wrong, but
Also, yeah, that's what I forgot to say. Thoughts go out to obviously Christian Eriksen and his family as well. By the way,
yes,
what happened was like almost sickening
yeah.
to watch, and quite like disappointed that it was on air for so long. But that's a different conversation. But yeah, thoughts and love and prayers go out to Christian Eriksen and his family.
Yeah, absolutely. And I seen Andy Robertson in his press conference saying that no matter what happens down the tournament, there's already been an achievement. And with obviously Christian Eriksen surviving what he did, and shout out to his family. That is more important things than football. And what's happened with Christian Eriksen, so sad to see. We were in a WhatsApp group once and it was hopping with everybody just in shock,
Yeah,
how emotional when it happened. So it's great to see he's relief, I suppose, for everyone in football and in human life that he has survived that and he seems to be doing okay now. And best of luck to Denmark and the rest of the tournament. But most importantly, more than any other country, to Christian Eriksen and his family going forward.
yeah, 100%, 100% agree, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
for real, man. Thanks for having me on again. I said this already, but thanks.
Yeah,
This is
no,
like really enjoyed this. To even I haven't really had a chance to tell my story about Big Six Bands, even though that was like a
yeah.
more brief, more like condensed version. I haven't had the chance to, really tell anyone how about the
All
background and
came
what's
together.
been
Yeah.
going on and how it's come together. So it's nice to obviously get that out on there for the first time.
Yeah, no, it was interesting. Great to hear, Monts, and good to get a little insight into it. And it was very honest as well yourself. So that's what I love to see and hear. So thanks to everybody. Remember to like and subscribe to this channel. To Big Six Bants over there with Monts for a lot more great humorous content. And that's it for today. Enjoy the rest of your week. Good way to start off the week on a Monday, and enjoy the lovely weather, the Euros, and everything that comes by. And remember, live is life. Cheers, Monts. Take care, all. Thank you.
Cheers. Take care.